Jarvis, are you ready for school?
Let's go.
What's going on, guys? Andrew here. We're back with another episode of Embroidery Hub. The new school year is almost here, which can only mean one thing. It's time to do some back-to-school shopping. To help you send those little superheroes back to school in style, I'm gonna teach you how to transform an ordinary backpack into a marvelous piece of back-to-school fashion using embroidery and heat transfer vinyl. But before we dive into today's design, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date with our latest videos. Without further ado, let's get started. I know what many of you are thinking, but Andrew, why would I want to use heat transfer vinyl and embroidery on my same design? The answer is simple. It's a quick and easy way to make a huge profit. Heat transfer vinyl is a very simple and cost-effective way to decorate apparel. For this project, I bought a blank backpack for around $13. An average 12-foot by 5-foot roll of heat transfer vinyl costs about $5. So for a project like this, you can expect to use around 50 cents worth of vinyl. Along with about 50 cents worth of embroidery thread, our all-in cost for this project is only about $14. By the time we're done, I can easily double my money and sell this backpack for around $40. And that's if I just embroider a name on it. For a backpack like the one I'm about to customize, it can go for upwards of $60, tripling your investment. However, here's the really cool thing about doing a mixed media design like this. By printing part of this design onto our backpack instead of using just embroidery, I'm able to cut my embroidery time in half, increasing my overall productivity and efficiency, giving me the freedom to produce more backpacks at any given time. We actually have a video where we give you some of our top tips for increasing efficiency when embroidering. You can find the link to it in the card above and in the description below. Now that I've touched on the benefits of doing a design like this, let's take a look at how to actually create it. For the embroidery portion, we're going to need 2 pieces of 2-ounce cutaway stabilizer, 6.25 by 8.25 inch mighty hoops, even though you can also use your regular hoops that come with your Ricoma embroidery machine. Our standard 7511 embroidery needles, our 40 weight polyester thread. For our heat transfer vinyl, a vinyl cutter like the one we sell on shop.ricoma.com, which supports designs up to 25 inches that I've linked in the description below. A flat heat press like the 16 by 20 that you can find on shop.ricoma.com, a sheet of heat transfer vinyl, transfer paper, a weeding tool, and a sheet of Teflon paper. To embroider this design, we're gonna be using the EM1010 10 needle semi-commercial embroidery machine. This is our most compact and most lightweight embroidery machine. However, what this machine lacks in size, it more than makes up for in strength and speed, making it a perfect choice for tackling a project like this. First, we're gonna hoop our backpack. For this project, we're gonna be using our mighty hoops. These hoops have a magnetic strip that clamps down on your garment, which makes hooping as easy as 1, 2, 3. To learn more about these mighty hoops, be sure to click the card above or the link in the description below. All right, now let's begin with lesson number 1, hooping the backpack. We'll place the 2 sheets inside the hoop. This is gonna go inside the backpack. And there you go. All right, guys, now moving on to lesson number 2, the embroidery process. So since we already have our backpack hooped, what we'll do, we're gonna put this inside. Make sure that you have the clearance so that it doesn't get snagged onto the brackets. And we'll do here, we're gonna make sure this goes up. And it'll snap right into place, and go ahead and adjust your backpack accordingly. Now that we have our backpack in place, let's move on to the panel. What we're gonna do is we're gonna select File. We already have the design loaded onto the machine, so we'll hit the design, and there's Iron Man. I hit OK. Now for this design, since it is kind of tall, when we go to Design Set, when I go to F right here, I'm gonna shift it 90 degrees so that the top of the design is at the top of the book bag. And then we're using a mighty hoop, so we're gonna list it as Other. And then we hit OK. All right, I'm gonna hit Escape. Our colors are already selected, so that's fine. We'll hit OK. And now we'll hit trace. All right, guys, we're all set up. All we got to do is hit start. Looks like we're off to a great start. Now let's apply our heat transfer vinyl. The first thing that we're going to do is open up our SandMaster Cut Plus Arm software and upload our design. This software comes included as part of Ricoma's Vinyl Cutter Premium Bundle. To learn more about these bundle options and to learn what they include, be sure to click the card above or the link in the description below. First thing I'm going to do is new document. Then I'm going to go here to my layout and page setup. And I'm going to make sure that I'm selected to letter, the 8.5 by 11 inches. And I'm going to set it to landscape mode, so I have more space to work on. Hit accept. Now I'm going to bring down my guidelines to make an origin point. In this case, it's going to be right there for the top and then the side here. And now we're going to go to File, Import, and now we're going to import our 2 layers. I'm going to hit Open. Here, we're going to import as rendered image. Click Accept. And now I'm going to guide this to the origin point. Once we select that, we're going to deselect all, select all again, and we're going to resize it to 3.5 inches. There we go. Once we have that, we're going to set our registration mark as a square, and we're going to set it right below the lightning bolt. We're going to right click, and we're going to duplicate, so we can have a second registration mark. And now we're going to lock the registration mark, and we're going to lock the red shadow. Once that's done, we're going to deselect all, select all, and we're going to drag down. And now we've separated our shadow from our font. When I do this, it lets me know that there's one layer on top of the other. We're going to deselect all, and now we're going to select all again. Before we do that, make sure that we have everything unlocked, so hit unlock all. Now we go ahead, select all. Now we're going to go to the Apple icon, select Create Cut Contour, and right here where it says Confirm Images Detected, do you wish to include their auto trace contours? We're going to hit click Yes. We're going to go down to where it says Trace. Once it traces, it's going to show you the blue lines around the letters. That's going to let the cutter know where to cut. So now we're going to hit Apply. Then down here, hit Accept. Next, we're going to load our vinyl into our cutter and lock it in place. I will set the cutting force at 300, the blade at level 2, and speed at 500. Now that it's set, let's get cutting. I will repeat the process for the second layer. All right, both colors of our design have been cut into our vinyl. Now we have to weed it out. All right, guys, now that we have both of our designs weeded out, let's go ahead and we're gonna move the red shadow to the transfer paper, and from the transfer paper over to the gold fonts. All right, let's get started. All right, guys, now that I have the red shadow on the transfer paper, I'm gonna use the registration mark and move it over to the gold fonts right here. All right, guys, I have both parts of my design together. A quick tip, when you're doing your transfer, you just want to make sure that you peel from the thicker side first. That way it's easier to move. If something lifts, you can just go ahead and you have either your squeegee tool for vinyl that you can press down on and lift again, or you can use your weeding tool, and the weeding tool you can kind of use to press down when you're lifting so that it keeps it in place. Now that our design is set, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the registration mark. That looks good. Now the last thing we've got to do is heat press our design onto our backpack. All right, guys, so now we're in front of our heat press. We're gonna get the backpack and we're gonna place it on the tray right here. So we're gonna roll this tray out. We're gonna place the backpack on top, and we're gonna place the Teflon sheet over, because what this is gonna do is this is gonna remove any moisture that we have on the backpack. So we preheated the heat press to 320 degrees, and we're gonna do it for about 10 seconds. Now we're gonna place the design. We're gonna center it with the embroidery. And we're gonna press it at 320 degrees for 30 seconds. I'm gonna place my Teflon sheet. This is an auto open heat press, but since I can't press it and close it with the backpack, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna manually hold it. All right, I'm gonna pull plate out, and this is a hot peel. So this will be at 90 degrees. And there we go. Wow, this came out amazing. I wish I had a backpack like this when I was growing up in school. All right, guys, that's it for us today. We hope this video inspires you to try a few mixed media designs of your own. Be sure to tell us in the comments below how much you would sell a backpack like this for, and any other topic you'd like to see in a future Embroidery Hub or Print Pros episode. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Class is dismissed.